This video is going to talk about SEO for accountants. So we'll jump right into it. Before jumping into it, what's really important to understand is that a lot of accountants don't fully know what SEO is. It's a black box. And for a lot of people, not just accountants, it's this black box. It's this unicorn that people do stuff and then you show up on Google. And so, one, it's not a black box. There are strategies and guidelines that Google itself has shared or what are correct things to do and incorrect things to do. The second thing that's really important to know before jumping in about SEO for accountants is that there are hundreds of things that you can do as an accountant to improve your SEO. From granular adding particular photos to your Google My Business account, to writing blog content for your website, to technical SEO strategies such as making your website more mobile friendly on a cell phone. There are literally hundreds of activities that you can do that could help your SEO. What's really important to understand is that accountants, if they're doing the SEO themselves, or if external businesses are doing the SEO for them, is which of those 300 activities are actually going to move the needle, are actually going to be valuable for your SEO. The activities that are going to increase your website traffic, are going to increase your phone calls, are going to increase your website form submissions. Those are the things you care about as an accountant. At the end of the day, you want more phone calls, you want more business, you want more clients. And so which SEO activities are going to do that for you? That's what we'll kind of talk about today. So what is the most important aspect for accountants SEO? The answer is the Google Local Pack. You've seen this probably thousands of times by now. You go on your smartphone and you type in, restaurant near me, or dry cleaner in Portland, Oregon, wherever you live. And this is what shows up. People search this way for accountants. They type in best accountants in Portland. They type in accountants near me. This is how people search. They're sitting on their smartphone, their iPhone, their Android, watching Netflix, cuddling with their dog or something, and they just, I need an accountant. Or maybe they're working and they're on a meeting and they're on their cell phone on the side. Yes, people do this. And while they're on this, business call that they're not super interested in, they might be thinking about, oh shoot, I need that accountant. Tax season's coming up. They search for best accountants in Portland. And if they're on their phone, what you see is that this Google Local Pack pops up, and it's a click to call button. If you were to search this from a desktop, there would be a website button instead of a call button. So Google's smart enough to differentiate based on a mobile phone or a desktop what users see. And the next most important thing to understand here is that ranking in the Google Local Pack is just kind of part of the battle. Let's say if we see here best accountants in Portland, this business is showing up. They have 4.8 stars and they have 53 reviews. This business has 4.2 stars and 25 reviews. People are logical. Human beings are logical creatures, and they will click on the business with the best and most reviews first. If a third business down here had 127 reviews, 4.9 stars, the user that's searching for this is probably going to forego calling this business and call the top one and the bottom one first based on the reviews. So it's not just about ranking in the local pack, it's also about converting people in the local pack. And you do that through the quantity and quality of your reviews. So this is the magic spot right here. If you aren't being found here, do this on your phone right now. Pull out your phone and type in best accountants in whatever city you operate in and see who shows up in this Google Local Pack. There's a good chance it's not you, because there's only 3 businesses that get to show up for these types of searches in the maps area. And there are likely, depending on the town or city you live in, dozens of accountants. So there are only 3 winners here, and they get the lion's share of the traffic, the lion's share of the calls, and it's kind of a self-fulfilling cycle there. Once you rank, you get more calls, you get more clients. If you serve them well, you get even more reviews and better reviews, and then now you're still ranking there, but you have 50 more reviews than your competitors, so people call you, and now you're just dominating. And that's the goal for any accountant. So we'll skip this slide here. How do you get in the Google Local Pack? The answer is Google My Business account. That's just part of it. Excuse me there while I close the door. That's just part of it. So Google itself and some other third-party data sources have indicated that Google looks at hundreds of different things to determine who ranks in this map area. They look at your website, they look at your Facebook page. So Google crawls thousands of different things on the internet to determine this stuff. But data has shown that between 20 and 30% of the factors that specifically go into ranking in this maps area come from your Google My Business profile. There are still 70% of other things that are important, but your Google My Business profile is very important. And so as an accountant, you likely already have a Google My Business profile, but most accountants set it up incorrectly, or most other SEO companies for accountants, they don't optimize it properly. And so how do you optimize your Google My Business to rank in the Google Local Pack? Here's what the back end of a Google My Business looks like. In this back end portal that you have, you can edit everything. You can edit your business name, you can edit your main category, you can add secondary categories, you can add photos, you can add all this information. And we see here that when we type in best accountants in Portland, the main category for these accountants shows up. Google, you only get to choose one main category as an accountant. This top accountant chose certified public accountant as their main category. This business below chose accounting firm as the main category. And so it looks like Google doesn't really care which one you choose, but you need to choose one of these. And then probably as a secondary category, you should add any accountant related category to that. You don't just want one category. If multiple categories fulfill what your business does, you should add as many as possible. Not only that, but you also, under this info section, if you look at the left-hand side of your Google My Business, if you log in, the very bottom, if you were to scroll down, you would be able to get to a section called main description. And what's really important here is adding comprehensiveness to your Google My Business. You want to fill everything out as comprehensively as possible. So instead of just writing one sentence for your Google My Business main description, you get 750 characters allotted. You want to use up as many of those as you can, not in a spammy way, but in providing comprehensiveness. So are you an accountant for particular types of business? Are you taking on new clients? All of these different questions that your users and potential buyers might have, you need to be able to answer those questions. Are you an accountant for personal? Are you an accountant for large companies? Do you specialize in accounting for cannabis-based businesses? These are the types of things that if you add comprehensiveness, Google and the users that are searching for these services will get value from. On the left-hand side as well, there's a section for services. Add in as many of those as possible of the services that you specifically offer. Most of the people that have Google My Businesses, they do this wrong. They barely fill it out. They might add one photo instead of 30 photos. Seriously, take 2 photos from the outside of the building. Take a couple photos from the waiting room from different angles. Take, photos of the front desk. Add the photos of your team. Adding all of this information gives Google more context. Google's basically turning into a human. We all know this. And they're able to crawl all of this information to get additional context about your business. Outside of Google My Business, there are dozens of other strategies that you can use. You can read through some of them here. This is just a couple. And again, there are hundreds that you could use that could add value to your SEO campaign. For the sake of this video, we're going to talk about 2 that are pretty important that a lot of accountants get wrong. The first one is name, address, and phone number. This is a screenshot directly from Google's SEO starter guide. Google has put out a guide themselves talking about things to do and to not do. And you can see I've highlighted the word trust over and over again. And what your name, address, and phone number is think about it. As an accountant, you have probably a Facebook page, you have a Yelp page, you have a Bing page, you have, you might be listed on other local directories. And on all of those things, your Facebook, your Instagram, everything, you have your name, you have your address, you have your phone number. This business here This is a report that we can pull to get insights into their name, address, and phone number consistency. Their business is, I don't know if I'm saying this right, is Isler Northwest LLC. This is what their Google My Business, if they were to rank here, it would say Isler, LLC. It would say Isler Northwest LLC. What about their Facebook page? It might say Isler Northwest. It might not have the LLC. On other websites, it might say Isler Northwest LLC Accountants. And the businesses do this. They have slightly different variations of their name around the internet. Same thing with their cell phone, not their cell phone, their main phone number. They might have one phone number on their website, one phone number on their Google My Business, and they do this for tracking purposes to say, how many calls are we getting from this source, and this source? And while that seems great, Google's seeing that as inconsistent. And Google, with trust, wants to give the users the most trustworthy and accurate businesses ranking possible. So that if I type in accountant near me, if I dial that phone number, I know that I'm going to get through to someone on the other end. If you have 7 different phone numbers around the internet, Google's going to say, wait a second, that seems a little wrong, and we don't trust this business as well as its competitors, so we're going to rank its competitors. The next strategy is writing comprehensive content. This is two businesses that we've worked with, and here are their results. They've gone from 0 organic visitors from Google every month to over 20,000. And how we did this was through writing content. What are the questions and queries that your target audience is searching into Google? Are they asking how much accountants cost? Are they asking what time of the year they need to hire an accountant? Are they asking specific technical questions about taxes? All of these different things, there are hundreds of questions that people have. And if you answer those through content on your website, Google will see you as being more comprehensive. That's what we did for these clients. And we got them, this client's about to hit 30,000 visitors this month. And that's just the following month that I'm talking right now. So they're last month about 23,000 visitors. This month they're looking at about 30. So thanks so much for watching this video, and please reach out if you have any questions.